All right, let's talk about Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money. Today, we're going to boil down all that wisdom from the final chapter into a few powerful, actionable ideas that you can actually start using right away. Let's get into it. But first, to really get the core message of this whole book, we have to start with a story. And trust me, it's a pretty shocking one from 1931, but it has everything to do with how we should be thinking about our money today. So picture this. It's 1931. A man named Clarence Hughes walks into the dentist's office with a really bad toothache. The dentist puts him under anesthesia, but when Clarence wakes up, he finds out that 16 of his teeth are gone. And not just that, his tonsils had been taken out too. A week later, he was dead from complications. Now, of course, his wife sued, but what's fascinating is that she didn't sue for malpractice. She sued because Clarence never consented to any of it. See, back then, the whole medical thinking was simple. The doctor's job is to fix the body, period. The patient's opinion? It wasn't really part of the conversation. It was this idea that there's one single right way to cure disease for absolutely everyone. But as Dr. J. Katz later pointed out, that's just dangerous nonsense. A treatment has to work for the patient's actual life, not just for their body on a chart. And that, right there, is the perfect metaphor for what we're talking about. There is no single right answer in finance. What works for me could be a total disaster for you. So with that in mind, let's break down the 3 pillars of a solid financial life. First up, your mindset. This has nothing to do with spreadsheets or hot stock picks. This is all about the internal game. How you think about money is what ends up driving everything else. And here's a crucial idea. Saving money isn't just about how much you earn. It's really about the gap between your ego and your income. See, being rich is what you see. The flashy cars, the big house. But wealth is what you don't see. It's the money you haven't spent, the investments that are quietly growing in the background. So this leads to a couple of key principles, right? When things are going great, find some humility. A lot of it was probably just luck. And when things go wrong, find forgiveness for yourself. Risk is this powerful, unpredictable thing. But honestly, above all else, the main goal of any financial decision should be answering this one question. Does it help you sleep at night? Seriously, a calm mind is the highest return you will ever get on your money. Okay, so once you've got the mindset down, we can move on to pillar 2, your strategy. This is where we build the actual game plan for the long haul. Look at this number. It seems simple, but it represents the almost unbelievable power of compounding. A single dollar, if it grows at 8% a year, turns into almost $47 in 50 years. The secret sauce here isn't being a genius investor, it's just time. And that's why this is so important. The single most powerful thing you can possibly do is just increase your time horizon. Staying in the game, being patient, letting your money compound year after year, that's your superpower. It will always beat chasing some crazy, high-risk return that you can't repeat. And while you're playing that long game, you have to get comfortable with this idea of tails. That's the idea that a small number of events are responsible for the majority of the results. In investing, it's totally normal for a tiny handful of your investments to produce almost all of your returns. Most of your bets might be duds, and you know what? That's totally okay. A few huge winners will more than make up for all the rest. So, how do you make sure you can stick around long enough for those big winners to actually show up? You have to worship room for error. What that means is you build a buffer, a safety net. A gap between what you think is going to happen and what could happen that would still leave you okay. That margin of safety is what gives you endurance. Which brings us to our 3rd and final pillar, execution. This is where the rubber meets the road, where we turn that strategy into real-world action. Okay, this part is a huge mental shift. You have to reframe how you think about market downturns. Volatility and uncertainty aren't a fine you pay for doing something wrong. No, it's the fee you pay for admission. It's the price of admission to get those incredible long-term returns the market offers. If you see it that way, you'll be so much more likely to stay in the game when things get rocky. So, what does this execution plan actually look like? Well, first, use your money to get control over your most precious asset, your time. Second, avoid making extreme financial decisions. That helps you endure the ups and downs. Third, define the game you are playing and stop taking cues from people playing a completely different game with different goals. And finally, Just save. Save for the things you can't possibly see coming. And this brings us right back around to where we started, back to that dentist in 1931. Financial advice just can't be a one-size-fits-all prescription because everybody's goals, everybody's fears are different. The most important question you have to answer is, what game are you playing? And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway of all. Financial success isn't about finding the most rational, perfect strategy on paper. It's about finding a reasonable strategy, one that you can actually stick with, one that fits your personality, and yes, one that lets you sleep at night. That's it. That is the only right answer. So, to help you figure that out for yourself, I want to leave you with a few questions to think about. First, what's a common financial rule you've heard that honestly just doesn't help you sleep at night? Next, think about this. Is your spending truly for your own joy, or is it maybe a little bit for what other people will think? And finally, where in your financial life are you maybe being a little bit extreme? And what is just one small step you could take to bring a little more balance to it? Seriously, I'd love to see your thoughts on these questions down in the comments. Your answer might just be the thing that helps someone else figure out theirs, because at the end of the day, the best answer is simply the one that works for you.
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.